Sawasdee krap, and good afternoon once again. Today is Friday, the 22nd of October 2021, and this is the English language summary of the daily press briefing. Actually, not daily right now, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, here at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA, as always, to provide you, the English language audience, with the up-to-date information, addressing a lot of inquiries that you have sent in, and of course, to keep everyone on the same page, not only the Thai language audience, but also the English language audience, viewing from abroad and also on social media and on television here in Thailand. I'd like to start off first with the vaccination progress, update on the number of vaccines administered. Yesterday, we administered 714,104 doses of vaccines, increasing the accumulated number of vaccinations to over 69.2 million doses across the country. Now you have the detailed breakdown for you there, first and second dose, since reported today in one day, and also since the beginning of the vaccination drive. As for the general situation, we have new confirmed case at 9,810 cases. We have active cases still being treated on a slight decrease, actually, now at 102,317. Now, for the new confirmed case, for the cases still being treated at the moment, we have 2,585 who are classified as being in critical condition, and 583 being patients on ventilators. We have new recoveries at 10,513, which is a bit slightly higher now than the number of new cases, hoping that will be the trend in the coming days and weeks. Unfortunately, we still have fatalities each day. However, the number of fatalities are reducing as we speak each day. We have 66 new fatalities recorded for today, and making the fatality rate in Thailand a little bit lower than the past days. The fatality rate is 1.02%. So first, Bangkok still has the highest number of cases for today. We'll have a slide coming up for you on that. 900 cases reported in Bangkok. You see on the chart there in green, followed by provinces like Songkhla, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Yala, and Pattani province, as shown on the screen. In general, the top 10 provinces that are usually on this list remain the same provinces in the past weeks until today, but the number of new cases have been reduced for this week in particular. Now, the most important piece of information news that we have for you for today, that you may have learned already since last night, is of course the scheme for entering Thailand without quarantine for certain countries and territories from the 1st of November 2021 onwards. So yesterday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced the list of 45 countries and one territory where individuals are permitted to enter Thailand without quarantine based on specific guidelines. And you have a list there of the 45 countries and one territory on screen. Of course, you can also find information about this on the social media platforms of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as the CCSA and other news outlets. This was reported widely since last night. So the CCSA and related agencies have carefully considered this list based on many factors. This includes the coherence with other countries' reopening plans. So the coherence with the policy of other countries are taken into consideration, as well as their international travel regulations to ensure the safety of everyone residing in Thailand and incoming travelers from abroad. And even though some countries and areas are not on this first list that you saw just now, but if you are fully vaccinated, you can enter the Sandbox scheme still, the Sandbox scheme in various provinces, which you can travel freely within those Sandbox areas. And of course, this list of 45 countries and one territory will be revised in the middle of November in the coming 2 to 3 weeks. And again, also in the beginning of December. So don't be too worried that the country that you reside in, it may not be on this first list yet. And hopefully, of course, there will be more countries and areas added during this very short time span in the coming weeks. Now, so starting from the 1st of November 2021 onwards, there will be 3 channels for those who wish to enter Thailand. First, fully vaccinated individuals who have been residing in these 45 countries and 1 territory for at least 21 consecutive days may enter Thailand without quarantine on the following conditions. Now, I'm talking about the green column that you see on screen. You can look at some details there. Now, first is that they must have a negative RT-PCR test result issued within 72 hours before traveling. They must also undergo an RT-PCR test on their arrival date and wait for the result of the test at a SHA Plus hotel or AQ hotel, or until they receive confirmation of a negative result. Those who have just traveled out from Thailand, those who are resident in Thailand actually, and those who have traveled out from Thailand after being resident here will be exempt from the 21-day stay requirement of the listed countries and territory. Second, now we're talking about the blue column in the center there. Fully vaccinated travelers may enter Thailand via the Sandbox schemes, but must stay in the Sandbox area for at least 7 days. And of course, you know the provinces such as Phuket. We started off with Phuket as the first Sandbox scheme. And travelers under this scheme will have to undergo 2 RT-PCR tests. The first test is on the arrival date, and the second test is on the 6th or 7th day of their stay. Now, third, and we're talking about the red column on screen right now, both Thai and foreign nationals who have not been fully vaccinated may enter Thailand, but will have to undergo the alternative quarantine or AQ for 10 days if they travel by air, 14 days if they travel by land. They will have to take 2 RT-PCR tests on the arrival date and on the day 8th and 9th of their stay. And just in addition, particularly talking about the green column, the 45 countries and 1 territory, which of course will be an expanded list in due course. Just talking particularly about that column, that children aged under 12 years old who are unvaccinated can enter the country in the same arrangements, same measures as their parents. So if their parents and children, the family, travels from one of those 45 countries and 1 territory, they of course will be exempted from the quarantine with the conditions mentioned. But the children accompanying those parents from the 45 countries, children under 12 who are not vaccinated can still enter the country with their parents under the same arrangement and measures with their parents when traveling with their parents. I'll move on to the issue on the curfew to be lifted in the Sandbox provinces. This was mentioned also by Dr. Apisamai in the Thai language briefing just now as well, that in line with the gradual relaxation of measures toward Thailand's reopening, the current curfew, which is 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., will be lifted in the 17 pilot tourism provinces, or the Sandbox provinces, starting from 11 p.m. on the 31st of October 2021. So on the 31st of October 2021, the curfew will be lifted in these 17 pilot tourism Sandbox provinces. And of course, these 17 provinces include Bangkok, Prachuap Khiri Khan, Phet Buri, Samut Prakan, Chiang Mai, Buriram, Loi, Nong Khai, Udon Thani, Chonburi, Trat, Rayong, Krabi, Phang Nga, Phuket, Ranong, and Surat Thani provinces, 17. Please note that for some provinces, the curfew will only be lifted in specified low-risk areas and not the entire province. So of course, naturally, check with the local authorities there as well. Just an additional information which may be of interest to the English language audience today is on the request for vaccine certificate through the Malprom application. We have an infographic up there, courtesy of the Public Relations Department. the Bamrad Naradoon Infectious Disease Institute has opened a new channel for requesting this vaccine certificate for international travel. So from the 18th of October onwards, people who apply for vaccine certificates can register via the MOPROM application. And after registering, users can select their preferred delivery channel. And payment, of course, can be made upon pickup or by e-payment or QR code. The Department of Disease Control, or DDC, has also announced that as of the 6th of October 2021, there had been over 31,000 people who have walked in to request for this vaccine certificate document. So therefore, an online platform for requesting this vaccine certificate has been set up and aims to reduce the congestion and facilitate the application process. First, as always, the DDC hotline is 1442, which you can access for more information. So it's a long holiday actually this week. We'll have the weekend tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, and the next time we have the briefing would be on Monday, this coming Monday. Just to close, I'd like just to mention that as the disease control measures continue to be relaxed and we open up the country for quarantine exempt travelers from 45 countries and 1 territory, we're moving ahead for the country's reopening. We're finding a balance in terms of the economic dimension as well as the health dimension. Rest assured that this balance will be fair. We're going to have a lot of considerations. We're going to recap and evaluate after the 1st of November, surely, on the results of this new announcement, this new scheme. Please remember that we're still not in a zero-risk situation, not at all in a zero-risk situation, and that, of course, it is still necessary to keep our guard up and practice the important measures that we have always been talking about, DMHTT. So with that note, that's all I have for today. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe. Have a very, very restful and good weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you, and สวัสดีครับ